going to be making a l.o.l surprise hair salon.
Now, page 1 is the roof part. You obviously need a roof. So, telling you first thing of this video, that when you fold these lines, make sure that on the normal dotted lines, you fold them in. And on the dots, the line, dot, make sure that you fold it towards you together.
We are using cardstock for like photos, and we made two kinds, a bigger one and a smaller one.
We showed the smaller one in this, we did the smaller one in this video.
We actually thought for the smaller one, it should be for l.o.l, like the regular ones.
But the bigger one is for OMG dolls. Now, continuing, this is page 4, which is the inside wall. The inside wall. You need a nice scenery inside, don't you?
The inside wall has a mirror and a shelf that's like...
The shelf is going to be 3D once you make it, so telling you that real quick, okay? Now, by this time, if you pause the video, make sure that you remember where you put it and make sure that you're not rushing because this video is speeded up. So just don't pressure yourself. Take it one step at a time. You can always pause the video whenever you need to and then just fold it.
Only cut on the line, like it's just
like
line.
The solid lines. Only cut on the solid lines.
Do
now,
not
cut the dotted lines.
Yeah, do not. Those are when you fold it.
Some people accidentally cut on the dotted lines and that normally doesn't happen good. Now this is the menu. Page 6 is the shelf and outside wall.
So the shelf is to make it 3D and to make it more like stand out, to make it look more real.
Now, page 7 is the sink wall, you could say, the inside of the door, and sink and faucet. That was what to say. Okay, so
put the shelf on first because if you put on the sink first, then it's gonna be harder to put on the shelf because it's gonna block its way.
Yeah, the easy way to say it, yeah. And not to mention, on the wall with the sink, there is a certificate that shows hair salon stylist.
Oh, and sorry if the inside of it is like upside down because
we filmed this the wrong way and I don't know how to flip it over. So sorry if it looks upside down, but look, there's the shelf. Once you stick on the shelf, then it's going to stick out.
And it's gonna look a lot like 3D.
Yes, and you can later on, around one of the last pages, there are going to be little things you can put on the shelves. Now, what you see now is what you would see after you're done sticking on the hood and the back of the door. Now, page 8 is the floor.
The floor might have been like the trickiest one.
It's like the hardest one of the entire set.
We use like a paper shredder to cut things when they're like flat, like when they're like a line.
Now, page 9 is the product shelf, you would say, actually. Now, this makes the shelf on the side next to the shelf, the actual other shelf, look 3D and stick out. And that is the sink when you're done making it.
It has a certificate and like a flyer.
You could say that. Now, this took 3 to 4 hours, so if this takes longer than that, don't stress, because we had like 3 people working on this. So
we think that if you had more people, it would be faster, but it's 15 pages, so if you had 15 people, then one person could do 1 page.
Except you would have to glue it all together, and you would need like 5 people to do that. Now, we're getting off topic, back to the thing. So when you're making the door, make sure that in the bottom right corner, you leave some space and don't glue that all in, because you're going to need it so you can put the wall in. And for the top of the inside door, make sure that you do not glue that part either, because you're going to need to stick it in.
Now, when we fold it, we use a ruler and a
Cut apart pair of scissors.
We do that so that it makes it straighter, but
You can do whatever you're used to doing.
if you use your hand, it's not gonna be that straight.
Well, sometimes.
And also, after you do that, after you you make a little line, but do not cut it when you fold it with the half pair of scissors and the ruler. Do not.
Yeah, don't cut it. Don't cut it.
You might have to print another one.
Simple way to say it, don't cut it.
Do not cut it.
Just a simple way to say it, just don't cut it. Do not cut it, I say.
We're using tweezers if the glue needs to stick more on there.
Speaking of glue, what type of glue should I use? Don't use liquid glue. That's gonna take forever.
Liquid glue is harder to dry, and also
Yeah.
it's liquidy, and also it comes out with a dot and it's like a line. But for the stick kind of glue, it's
Just
easier
a harder way to say it.
it's easier to dry, and also it doesn't liquid it out.
Now, for page 10, you have the top of the thing that's on the roof. That's what you say, and the tabletop. Now, page 11, the chair. What kind of salon doesn't have chairs? Yeah.
Now, for page 12, it's the cabinets under the table. That's
So,
what a bigger.
If the table is 3D, the cabinets under should be 3D. So, why not make them 3D? Yes. I hope you understand now. Oh yes, and by the way, we were having some people do the back of the page. So if you see a big chair and a table and stuff that we didn't talk about yet, just don't ask questions. Please don't ask questions.
For page 15, it has a
3 wigs, 3 head mannequin thingies, and to page 13, the magazines, sofa, and table. Now,
it also has a couch, I think.
there are also magazines, obviously.
The magazines are really small and really cute.
They're teeny tiny and adorable. Now, the couch looks like that,
There is also a basket to put the magazines in,
but that's on another page.
I think.
You could use the baskets for something else if you wanted, but... Now, the magazines took quite some time since there's 4 of them. Not to mention each one took about, how long?
Maybe about 5 minutes.
Yeah, so that took 20 minutes per the
It's a little bit blurry, so...
Sorry about that, but they look cute if you can see them.
If you can.
See, look, they have little dots. And then the table.
The table is brown,
And small, and it's
but for our bigger size, it's much bigger.
obviously.
And for
Now,
page 14 has the hairdryer, accessories, and other stuff.
Well, it's sort of complicated. It's like, you know those times when you go there and then there's the cart with all the stuff in it? That's exactly what this is. Oh, and these are the magazines. They're more focused this time. Hope they look better.
They are smaller though, because
Sorry if it looks like, yeah, that looks good, right? See, they're cute.
now that is like little bottles of shampoo, except they're not
Coloring,
real.
stuff like that.
They're not actually real.
If you can somehow make them like actual bottles and put stuff in them, I don't know how you could get a hold of that, but that's okay. Now this is the basket that is going to hold
I don't
the
think you can
magazines.
see it that well.
It's adorable and teeny tiny. It looks like a picnic basket.
Now you might see there might be a lot of trash. That's
Now,
how long.
Again, just please make sure that your workspace is clean. Ours wasn't, and things got messy.
We actually think you should do it one page at a time, because if you do all of them, you're gonna get very, very, very confused.
Yeah, do one page at a time. I would recommend doing the first page to the last page because obvious reasons.
And if you're tired, just pause the video and take a break.
Yeah, take a break if you need it.
We actually didn't really take a break that much.
We were doing it for 3 hours straight.
About 3 hours.
3.5 hours.
It takes about maybe 3.
And that is the basket with the magazines inside. Of course, you can set up the magazines inside in a different way, but we decided to go this way. And if you have l.o.l dolls, you can also use them on these. They fit their hands perfectly.
We use like a paper shredder, so
Not
that
exactly paper shredder, more like paper cutter.
yeah, and then we like.
Made the lines straight and perfect.
But my mom mostly uses that. When I use it, oh, and also if you use that, you don't like have to make it the exact time like that. Like it doesn't have to be like so that there's no white, but
Not to mention, if you have something that makes it easier for you to stick things in, use it. If it makes it easier for you, use it. We may not have used it, but that doesn't mean that you can't use it. So if you have something that makes this stuff easier, just use it if you'd like.
yeah, just go for it.
Yeah, go for it, go for it. We're not telling
Now
you
that is the lamp.
the lamp. The top of it looks like an oven, but it's
A
fine.
lamp.
It's a lamp, it's a lamp. And the inside will look like that unless you can find a piece of paper that goes inside. And now page 15, the last page.
The mannequin wigs, plant cups, and plates.
Now there is the wig sticking on and off of the mannequin.
We tell you, but do not glue them on.
do not glue them on.
No.
You could glue them on if you'd like, but I would.
We decided not to because then you can change those because there's 2 other kinds.
The important part, put all the walls together. Now, you should put them together last because if you put them together first, that would
Be harder a little bit.
yeah, it would be hard to glue
Because
stuff
if
in.
because it's gonna be really small and it's gonna be harder to like
Stick them in.
yeah.
Yeah. Because most of these parts are really small. So if you're going to glue some stuff onto the other stuff, don't do it after you assemble it. Do it before you assemble it. Because if not, your huge hands are going to be cramped in this teeny tiny little hair salon.
Now for the floor, there's like for the bottom of it we like
Now, once you fold the floor correctly, well, that's probably going to take a long time, but struggle.
you could mostly like ask a grown-up to help you.
Unless you are a grown-up, you could ask someone else to help. Unless you have somebody that's really good at doing paper sets and stuff, you could ask them.
We use tape to put on the walls.
Because tape is good.
Tape makes it stronger and
Stable.
we use clear tape so then it
It
would
would
be
be clear and you would be
harder to see.
Now here in these videos, we are demonstrating how to put on the walls. And hopefully you left that space in between so you can stick them on. Just please tell me you did. Please tell me you did. Just, if you did it.
And in the background there's so much paper.
Yeah, sorry about that. We cleaned that up after, but I don't know if we can save this beautiful scene. Now, as you can see, the top still getting shoved in. Not exactly
Still trying
shoved.
to get in.
That part was a little bit hard, but
That part, I don't think you should like actually glue it the whole way.
you could put glue on it and then stick it in, but then it would be sort of hard to take apart.
In case you want.
In case you want to take it apart and then put it somewhere else. Don't forget about the roof. You gotta glue the roof on
You
too.
have to.
What kind of salon doesn't have a roof, huh?
I don't know.
The roofless salon. If you're gonna make it roofless, call it the roofless salon. But I don't know who would want that. So right now we're just sticking it in together to make sure that it's all stable and nice, and then we will be gluing on Also, when you're cutting out the tree, don't cut off its stem because then you won't have a plant.
And also, there is a pot for it. It might be harder because you have to do the bottom and the top, and you might not know which is the bottom and which is the top.
Just compare which one's bigger. Figure out which one's bigger.
I think the which.
And this is the floor. Left one over.
The floor.
The door goes on the
Left side, and the
wall goes on the right side. The short wall.
the one with the sink.
Just try and fit them in. And
The one with the sink goes on the
right side, I think. I'm assuming.
And on that wall, there's also a certificate and a flyer.
We said that earlier.
A long time ago.
And make sure you cut it right so that it looks rounded like that.
Oh, you might want to close your glue sticks when you're not using them.
Because we left it open the entire time and then it started to get crusty.
And moldy-ish.
Crusty-ish. It looks yellow. Yeah, and then this is the final product.
We actually had these l.o.ls, and sorry if it looks a little blurry.
And then there's the teeny tiny teacup we forgot to mention.
The menu. Now, there is
Women's haircuts, men's haircuts, kids' haircuts,
curl,
hair colors, and manicures and pedicures, although there isn't even nail polish. Oh, and don't forget about the hairdryer. The hairdryer has very small parts and it's difficult.
The smaller pieces are very, very hard. And sorry if there is a little water bottle for an l.o.l doll in the background.
Sorry.
And
And that thing I was talking about earlier, now you see. And you can see the teeny tiny little head mannequin in the back. Now the black one you could use for your favorite hairdos. You can find some more on the internet.
now it's a little blurry, but I don't know if you can see, but that is the l.o.l Surprise magazines.
I just realized that there's a thing next to it, but okay.
Oh, those were flowers.